There is a fate worse than failure. There is a fate worse than hitting rock bottom. It is called tolerable mediocrity. I want you to think about a frog in a pot of water. If you drop a frog into a pot of boiling water, it will instinctively jump out immediately. It survives because the pain is intense, sudden, and undeniable. The pain signals to the frog, "You are dying. Move now." But if you put that same frog in a pot of lukewarm water and slowly, very slowly turn up the heat, the frog does nothing. It sits there. It relaxes. It thinks, "This is fine. It's a little warm, but I can handle it." It keeps rationalizing the heat until its muscles stop working. It falls asleep and it boils to death. Most of you watching this video right now are that frog. You aren't in a crisis, you aren't homeless, you aren't starving. Your job is fine. It pays the bills even though it crushes your soul. Your relationship is okay. You don't fight much even though there is no passion left. Your health is average. You aren't obese, you're just a little tired all the time. You are trapped in the most dangerous place in the human experience, the zone of comfort. This is what psychologists call the region beta paradox, and today I am going to show you why doing okay is actually ruining your life and why you should pray for things to get worse. To understand why we get stuck, we have to look at how the human brain processes pain. Let's imagine two scenarios. Scenario A, you shatter your kneecap in a violent accident. The bone is sticking out. The pain is a 10 out of 10. Scenario B, you have a trick knee. It hurts a little bit when it rains. It clicks when you walk. The pain is a 3 out of 10. In scenario A, the disaster, what do? You go to the hospital immediately. You get surgery. You go to physical therapy every day for 6 months. You are forced to focus entirely on healing. And the result, a year later, your knee is stronger than ever. You're running marathons. But in scenario B, the nuisance, what do? You do nothing. You say, "It's not that bad." You take an ibuprofen. You learn to walk with a limp. And the result, you limp for the next 40 years. You never run again. You let a minor injury define your entire life because it never hurt enough to force you to fix it. This is the region beta paradox. The paradox states that we are more likely to recover from huge, devastating failures than we are from mild, chronic inconveniences. Extreme suffering triggers our psychological immune system. It forces us to change. It forces us to reinvent ourselves. But mild suffering, it triggers our coping mechanism. It triggers our excuses. It allows us to tolerate a life we hate simply because it isn't painful enough to make us leave. We see this most clearly in the corporate world. If you have a terrible boss who screams at you, steals your wages, and humiliates you in public, that is a blessing. Why? Because you will quit. You will walk out that door, flip him off, and go find a job that respects you. Or you'll finally start that business you've been dreaming of. The toxicity forces you to level up. But what if your boss is nice? What if he pays you just enough to survive, but not enough to be free? What if the office has free coffee and a ping pong table? This is the trap. These are the golden handcuffs. You hate the work. You feel empty inside. You know you are wasting your potential. But you say, "Well, the benefits are good. Well, the commute isn't too bad." Your brain becomes a lawyer defending the very prison that holds you captive. You are trading your dreams for a dental plan. You are in region beta. The situation is not bad enough to leave, but not good enough to stay. So you stay in purgatory forever. It's the same with love. A toxic, explosive breakup is painful. It feels like your heart is being ripped out. But that pain is useful. It is a forest fire that burns away the dead wood so new trees can grow. You grieve, you heal, you hit the gym, you find yourself again. But a meh relationship, that is a slow poison. You sit at dinner together in silence, looking at your phones. There is no spark, there is no connection, but you don't break up. Why? Because we've been together for 5 years, because moving out is a hassle, because who else would want me? You are choosing the known misery over the unknown joy. This is why so many people wake up at 45 years old, look at their spouse, and realize they have been sleepwalking for 2 decades. They wasted their prime years waiting for things to get better, instead of making the hard choice to leave. They were waiting for the water to boil, but it stayed lukewarm for 20 years. So how do we escape region beta? You have two choices. Choice one, you wait for a disaster. You wait to get fired. You wait for your partner to cheat on you. You wait for a heart attack. You wait for the universe to force your hand. This is a bad strategy because by the time the disaster comes, you might be too old or too weak to fight back. Choice two, you create an artificial rock bottom. You have to lower your threshold for what you tolerate. You have to look at your okay life and get angry. You have to tell yourself mediocrity is not acceptable. Being bored is not acceptable. Just surviving is not acceptable. You need to turn up the heat yourself. If you want to quit your job, remove the safety net, cancel your Netflix, sell your expensive car, put yourself in a position where you must succeed. If you want to fix your relationship, have the difficult conversation tonight. Blow it up. Either fix it for real or end it. Stop taking ibuprofen for your broken soul. Break the bones so it can heal properly. I know what you're thinking, but what if I fail? What if I quit my job and I go broke? What if I leave my partner and end up alone? That's the fear talking. That's the brain trying to keep you in the warm pot. But let me ask you a counter question. What if you stay? What is the cost of staying exactly where you are for another 10 years? Imagine yourself 10 years from now. Same chair, same screen, same complaints, same emptiness. Is that not terrifying? Is that not worse than failure? At least failure is an adventure. At least failure means you tried. At least failure gives you a story to tell. Mediocrity gives you nothing but regret. The pain of change is sharp and intense like a needle. The pain of regret is dull and endless like a tumor. Choose your pain. Your life is not a rehearsal. You don't get a second chance to replay this level. If you're waiting for a sign, this is it. If you're waiting for things to get bad enough to change, stop waiting. Make them bad enough. Demand more from yourself. Don't be the frog. Feel the heat. Realize that comfortable is just a fancy word for dying slowly. And jump out of the pot right now. Thanks for watching. See you on the other side.